Good morning, doctor. Welcome back.
Good morning, Venkatesh. Nice to be back.
Thank you, doctor. So, our topic for today is patience. And the reason our topic for today is patience in our series on wellness is that many things in life don't go to plan, right? We sometimes have to wait. Sometimes we are frustrated by the delays that we didn't expect, or we face, suffering or trouble or unexpected uncertainty. During all of this time, if we get angry or upset, we are unable to be positive and constructive and take care of our wellness. Patience is how we are able to do that, right? And so that's why this is the topic. Over to you, doctor.
Yeah. Thank you, Venkatesh. So, patience is what? Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay. Hmm?
Yeah.
You should accept delay. Trouble or suffering without getting angry or upset. You accept everything. You can still be resentful of that, but that is not patience. If you are fidgety and in trouble mentally or not relaxed, then you are not patient, although you may appear to be doing nothing. So you should be tolerate a delay or the trouble or suffering without getting upset. Okay, it's a good lesson we just got just a little while ago.
Yes, in our trying to get our session going, we had to both show patience.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think you used a very important word, doctor, in this. Accept. We have to accept it. Things happen, right? And which is a very important point. Yes.
Right. So patience is wisdom is spelt differently, as they say. Patience is wisdom because when you are patiently doing something, when you are being patient, you are being wise. Hmm? So your patience and your wisdom go in parallel, go in tandem, or go together, or one leads to another. If you are patient, you are wise. If you are wise, you are patient. Because a lot of life events and thought processes hinge on both patience and wisdom. And big successes stories are written with patience and wisdom in the background. Yeah. Next
Absolutely.
slide, please. Yeah. Now, Bill Gates, the great man of computers, said patience is a key element of success. Because if you are patient, you get strength. And if you have strength, you are more patient, and so forth. Everything is in a loop, In behavioral science, a lot of things don't happen in linear fashion, they come in a loop.
Correct.
And if you catch any loop anytime and then ride on it, and then that will help you move forward. So, Bill Gates said, if you are patient, you will succeed. Yeah. Next slide, please. Kabir, the good old wise man of Mahan Bharat, wrote a couplet, Doha.
Right.
He said, "Oh dear, my dear mind." Kabir, addresses mind or addresses anybody or addresses just a mendicant or whatever, but he is addressing somebody with a lot of wisdom, and he is addressing himself. Dhire dhire re mana, dhire sabhi kuch hoy. My own mind, you know,
Be patient.
I'm telling you something, and then you should follow that. Self teaching is the toughest thing, really. You
Correct.
can teach others, you can't teach yourself.
Yes. Yes.
तो धीरे धीरे रे मना रीरे सब कुछ होए
Yeah.
Mali सींचे तो गड़ा Mali is a gardener. He is watering the plants there with 100 pots of water.
Correct.
But then he won't get the fruits or the flowers till such time that spring comes and the weather improves and so forth. So that will come only twice a year. And so even if you put 100 potfuls of water, you're not going to get a flower or a fruit unless the spring arrives and takes charge.
Yeah.
Next slide, Venkatesh. Any comment?
No, perfect. Yes, it has to. The other saying they say in Hindi, or various people say, just because you put 9 women together, you can't produce a child in 1 month.
Right.
so it's going to take 9 months. Absolutely.
That's right. That's correct. Yeah. So, what is the lesson for us? You learn to be slow and steady, and then you will win the race. Now, slow and steady are quoted together because slow by itself won't do anything, and steady cannot exist without slow. So if you are not really slow, you can't be steady, and vice versa. You can play with these words, It will
Correct.
give you the mindset required
Correct.
to win the race. The
Correct.
mindset has to be one of steadiness. So steadiness is supreme, and automatically slowness comes.
Correct.
And together they will help you win the race, like
Correct.
that. You can
Correct.
interpret it using your different semantics and
Correct.
syntax. And but that's the essence of
Slow and
mind.
steady.
Yeah.
Correct.
Any slide?
I guess the point being, I think we are equating steadiness with patience, right? That
Yeah. Yeah.
we can only be steady when we are patient. Otherwise,
Correct.
you become fidgety, as you just said. You become impatient and want to do something in a hurry. Uh,
Right.
you can be steady only if you are patient. Absolutely.
Correct. Now, in this diagram, on this picture, you see a rabbit and a tortoise,
Correct.
you know, and the legendary story goes that, uh, rabbit was
Yeah.
wild and too bloated with ego that he said he will win the race in no time.
Correct.
So he went to sleep.
Correct.
And then, lo and behold, by the time he woke up, the tortoise had already gone way ahead and had reached the goal post.
Correct.
So one would normally expect the tortoise to lose and the
Lose.
rabbit to win.
Correct.
But the reverse happened here because this, particularly the tortoise, the rabbit is slow and steady.
The
Tortoise is
tortoise is slow and steady. Correct.
slow and
Absolutely.
steady, like that.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
next slide, please. So the lesson of that, the particular thing is everything it takes longer than you think.
Correct.
Hmm?
Correct.
And you may think that again, like, right from the examples of waiting for a train or a bus or a bus stop or waiting for your promotion in the office or some such thing. You
Correct.
know, in your impatience, you expect things in a jiffy,
Correct.
and in your impatience, you want victory like that.
Right.
Say jokingly, what is your deadline? Your deadline is yesterday, like
Correct.
that.
Correct.
So you want everything yesterday or you want everything this morning, but it is not going to happen like that. So
Correct.
everything takes longer, and you better realize it and better accept it.
Correct.
Accepting with, sort of with conditions attached,
Correct.
that's really acceptance. Accept
Correct.
it as it is. Accept. Next slide. Can you comment, Venkatesh?
No, I think you've emphasized it's a very important point. See, we are forced to wait. Waiting is not patience. Acceptance is the patience.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct,
because
correct.
I mean, yeah, if life is not going to give it to you just because you're impatient, but the point is, if you are accepting and you're positive, you can do something about it. Otherwise, you'll just get angry and like dissipate all your energy. Absolutely.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Venkatesh, you want to explain this?
Yeah, no, I think this is the famous test. You've chosen it because the marshmallow test is psychologists wanted to check how the ability to control your desires and be patient, how does it affect performance? So here there is a picture of a girl, and in front of her is this American sweet called a marshmallow. And in effect, the children were told, if you can wait till a person who is supervising the experiment comes back into the room and don't touch the marshmallow till then, you'll get two marshmallows. But otherwise, you can eat the one marshmallow in front of you. And the children who had the sense to say, okay, if I wait, let me not just snatch it before he comes back, I'll get two instead of one. They then later on studied them over a long period of time, and they found that they exhibited this behavior, delayed gratification.
Right,
And
right,
those who exhibited that behavior were found to do much better in school, do much better at sports. They were more steady in their studies. And so the marshmallow test is about delayed gratification. And
right,
uh, as you have mentioned very often, doctor, gratification is basically, you feel happy when you get what you want.
right,
Patience is about being able to delay and say, okay, it's okay if it takes some time. Yes, doctor. So I think now
right.
handing back to you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Okay, here is another example of delay and something happening. You see,
Yes.
you see a duck or a duckling,
Correct.
and the duckling looks different from the other rest of the gang,
Correct.
and it was darker. And this duckling was therefore called ugly duckling
Correct.
because it looked good looking. It wasn't really to the satisfaction of the master. So
Doctor, if you can slightly move back. I think you're a little too much in front, little bit back. Thank you. Thank you. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this ugly duckling had a tremendous inferiority complex. He said other
Correct.
ducklings are fair and nice,
Correct.
and should I be only dark and funny?
Correct.
And people continue to laugh at the ugly duckling
Correct.
till one fine morning they realize that this ugly duckling is no longer the ugly duckling; it is a beautiful swan. You know.
Yes.
So yes, they say you have the last laugh. You laugh, but you laugh last. You expect the other fellows to make mistakes, and then you laugh.
Correct.
Ugly duckling had the last laugh, and it became a beautiful swan.
Swan. Correct.
This is a great example of your patience. Any comment, Venkatesh?
Yeah, no, I think this is, I think this is an extension of maybe a slide that is coming, which is that good things take time. So, to develop into a swan took longer. There is also often this saying that if the gestation period is longer, a bigger animal is going to be born. That elephants
Right,
take longer to be birthed, right? And
right,
whales even longer. Another form of the
right,
same thing, right? That,
right, right.
yeah,
So, as the reading on the slide goes, have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Now, this is
easy.
another. Now, when you all things have their own way of moving forward in time and
Correct.
space.
Correct.
But then, to begin with, it looks very tough. You
Correct.
know, you see a mountain there in the background,
Correct.
and climbing the mountain initially you will find very difficult. You will be going breathless, and you will be making mistakes. You will fall, break your bone, or some such thing.
Correct.
But then gradually, as you get used to that, the same mountain, the same person, same everything will come through more easily.
Correct.
And this, you see, for example, you're riding a bicycle. When you
Exactly.
ride a bicycle, initially you fall and hurt yourself and you get dejected. What is this bicycle? Useless and so forth.
Correct.
But in no time, this bicycle takes you places and you are riding smooth.
Correct.
So everything, for example, writing or even,
Singing. Singing.
yeah, correct. So that it takes time, and that is a test of your patience. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Please. Ah. Now, what is patience really? Well, patience is not just hanging around.
Correct.
Patience is not simply the ability to wait. It is how you behave when you are waiting. Like
Correct.
people in traffic jam, for example, Bombay traffic jam, or for that matter, whether it is Kolkata or Delhi, traffic jams are a great big example.
Correct.
You're in a traffic and the traffic is not going to move,
Correct.
but you can fret and fume and you can be banging on the horn, but still the car is not moving, the signal is not turning green.
Correct.
So instead, if you say, okay, I'll get down and enjoy the sun
Correct.
or enjoy the whatever.
Correct.
And in the meantime, you are waiting for somebody. As you are waiting, you are putting your faculties to good use.
Correct.
Enjoying the trees and the woods and so forth, which you
Correct.
would not have otherwise.
Correct.
So patience is not ability to wait. It's about how long and how we behave while you are waiting.
Correct.
So if you are making use of that, any example can be given.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
No,
Any comment?
absolutely. No, I
Yeah.
think all of these are, all making a beautiful point that, waiting is constructive. Waiting is not just hanging around. Exactly like you said.
Correct.
You have to see it
Correct.
that way. If you see it that way, there is lots to do, right? Or lots
Correct.
that we can get.
Right. Right. So looked at in this fashion, patience is a form of
Action.
action. Again, for the same car example, you get out of the car, you switch off the engine, walk a few steps back and forth, and enjoy the clouds and so
Correct.
forth. And that is patience.
Correct.
And there is action in it. There is action in it, or you are generating the happiness of your own action.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you are self-gratifying with the help of your faculties and so forth.
Correct.
So it is all action. You
Correct.
know, it,
Correct.
patience is tapasya. That's why they say the rishis and munis used to stand in knee-deep water
Right.
and not move, would not stir an inch.
Correct.
And people say, what kind of penance is this? You're making a fool out of me. I'm just hanging around standing. And they said, oh, try standing for half an hour, and then you'll see.
Correct.
And your all your faculties to use,
Correct.
and then you are manifesting your patience.
Correct.
So is a form of action. Action. How are we time-wise, Venkatesh?
I think we are fine. We are fine.
Okay, yeah. Next slide, please. Another example of waiting.
Yeah,
Now you see a worm and you see a butterfly.
correct.
Butterfly looks beautiful, and then it keeps boasting to the worm, see, look, I am very nice, very colorful, very handsome, very this, very that. And the worm says, okay, wait and see for a few days more, and I will also become you. So your worm becomes a
Yeah, the
butterfly.
caterpillar. Actually, a caterpillar. Correct.
Yeah, right.
Once it
So,
becomes a pupa, it will come out of the pupa of butterfly. Exactly.
right, right.
And the very
So,
interesting point to add to it is when it is a pupa or the chrysalis, it cannot move. It just has to wait
correct,
before it
correct,
becomes a butterfly. So it just has to
correct,
wait, which is exactly why at the beginning of this PPT, we had put a picture of a butterfly coming from a pupa. Before you can become a butterfly, you just have to wait.
correct, correct, correct. Very true. So another good old saying, haste makes waste. Now, if you are hasty, you will be wasteful.
Correct.
So you can see the example of somebody running
Right.
with bagfuls of whatever.
Right.
And then he's making a mistake, he's skidding and falling, he is breaking his nose or whatever.
Correct.
So if you are hasty, if you are hasteful, if you are wasteful, and so forth,
Correct.
it's a different story. This is to keep in mind.
Correct.
And this proverb again, it's a
Correct.
proverb is what is a proverb anyway? It is nothing but the distilled wisdom of generation of people. And
Correct.
if they like this saying, they maybe it started in the 2000 BC or something, but today in 2000 300 whatever AD after the Christ,
Right.
it's still it holds.
Correct.
The same man skidding and down, falling down, and he's making haste, and he's also making waste.
Waste. Correct.
So
Correct.
these are perennial, unending, immortal sayings, but they
Correct.
teach you a lot of wisdom,
Correct.
and haste comes in that. Yeah.
Correct.
Any comment, Dinesh?
No, absolutely. I guess even to be thoughtful, to learn from your mistakes, to be meticulous, to be careful, all of these require patience, right?
Right, right,
Otherwise, you are just unable to do what is required of you. Absolutely.
right. Okay. Another example of goose that is laying golden eggs.
Right.
Little folk story. A farmer um, has a what's it
Goose.
called?
That
Has a
goose that
goose,
lays
goose
golden eggs.
that is
Yeah.
laying golden eggs.
Correct.
And every day he would get one egg from the goose.
Correct.
So he thought, every day I'm getting one. So why not just kill the goose and take all the eggs that are sitting in his tummy? And he does that, and the goose comes out dead because the goose has a ration of only one egg, one golden egg per day,
Correct.
and that was B.
Correct.
So, so again, impatience, does it
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
No, very
Yeah. Next.
important point because this is all examples of there is a natural rhythm to things. And to
Right.
use either your bicycle example or even something as simple as eating, we can't eat 6 meals in one meal. No, we can't say I'll
Right.
eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my morning only and finish off. Or why don't I eat for the next 3 days today? Not possible.
Right.
You have to eat it
Right.
when it is required, and similarly, it will be this egg is produced when it is going to be produced. This
Right.
all mali siche saugada, right? Effectively,
Right.
that fall will come only when it is to come. Absolutely.
Correct. Correct.
So last two slides, doctor. Yeah.
Last two slides. Well, you see who mythological characters, or you'll see gods rather than mythological characters as they are accepted today. Here you see Ram and Lakshman
Correct.
waiting at the seashore,
Right.
trying to cross the sea, whatever ocean,
Correct.
and uh, they being humans, they had to use their human faculties. They couldn't have just wished divine capacity and jumped over the sea. They couldn't jump over. They
Correct.
wanted somebody to come and jump over, which is again a teaching in human limitations.
Correct.
So then you have all the Vanara Senas coming,
Correct.
all the all the entire army of Vanaras,
Right.
and then they couldn't help. How do they help? They pick up a stone one by one, and then build the whole bridge across the ocean.
Correct.
And Ram and Lakshmana are sitting there and admiring their ability.
Right.
And here you see also Hanuman, who is playing a major role in Ramayana.
Getting it built. Yeah.
getting
it
it
built well.
right.
Doctor, slightly, if you can move to your left.
Uh,
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah,
so here again, patience. Ram and Lakshman had to convey patience and behave in a patient way.
correct,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to cross the bridge or the
correct,
setu.
correct. Yeah,
This is it required a lot of patience, and there it was. Before that, they had to wait for a full monsoon time to get over,
exactly. Correct, correct.
and that was again patience.
The
So,
whole the whole period of literally the Vanvas was also a
yeah,
period of absolute patience, right?
correct.
Everything is a example of patience there.
Right, right, right.
Waiting for monsoon to end for Sugriva to fight Vali, waiting for
Yeah,
Hanuman to find Sita, waiting for the Setu to be built, waiting to go across. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Fantastic
yeah, yeah.
example. Yeah.
So,
And like you said, a very good example of even gods had to go through human limitations manifest by
right,
waiting. You can't
right,
you
right,
can't sort of just get it done in a second. Absolutely. Last slide,
right.
doctor. Yeah,
Yeah. So this is just a depiction of how the Setu was. And now here is another slide
yeah,
which gives you an idea of the yajna. Now this Dasharatha, the father of Rama,
right.
uh, uh, had no issue.
Correct.
He had no children. So
Correct.
he was praying to God, and God said that, with the help of a Rishi called Vasishtha or Vishwamitra or whatever, both of
Vishwamitra.
them maybe,
Yeah.
Vishwamitra maybe. He said, okay, I am pleased with your penance, I am pleased with your yaga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you take this kheer or sweet dish and feed it to all the ladies in the harem. All the ladies would mean only
The
the
three
four ladies.
queens. Yeah.
The harem would have been a different issue.
Correct.
So all four queens, what's called as the real royal queens. There are any number of queens, but these are the
The
royal
three
ones.
queens. Yeah. The three queens. Yeah.
Yeah. So they took the kheer and then gave it to these ladies, and then they bore the child, and then Ram and Lakshman were able to continue
Ram,
further.
Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrugana. Correct.
Bharat and Shatrugna.
Correct.
So this is again an example of patience.
Correct.
Hmm? The fellow,
Dasharatha had to wait for a long time, but then
yeah,
he was the father of these four, great men, great, embodiments of God. Absolutely.
right, right. So again, an example of patience. At every little step, you have an example of patience waiting for you. And if you have an open mind and then practice them or put them to use,
Correct.
then you can be as good as any other king or god. Yeah. So I guess so much for this. Any other comments, Venkatesh?
No, I'll then summarize, doctor, as
Yeah,
always.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, thank
No, so I think today we discussed why patience is such a central part of our wellness. Uh, Everything in life takes longer than we expect. There are unexpected difficulties. There is trouble. There is sufferings. That is one part. Anything good requires a long period of work, practice, hard work. And if we don't have the patience to see it through, we lose out on important things in our life. Uh, the reason we discuss patience even further is patience is especially, it's not just about waiting. All of us have to wait. Life makes us wait. But it's about how we wait. And for example, if we are able to wait consciously, something that's called delayed gratification, if we can delay our pleasure or our gratification, it's almost been proven by science. These are the attributes or traits that lead to success. So whether it's in our personal wellness or in our professional careers, uh, patience has a huge role, and I guess our spirituality also talks about it. It's a very important part of how we actually think about our. So in spirituality as well, we can see whether it is Lord Ram in his having to wait through the Vanvas or wait for being able to rescue Sita from Lanka, or whether it was Dasharath having to do yagyas to actually get a son like Ram and sons like Ram and Lakshman. Patience pays off. Yeah. So I guess no wonder they say Shraddha and Saburi, that faith and patience go together. Thank
you.
you so much,
Right.
Doctor. Look forward to the next session.
Thank you. Thank you.